Ending the redemption arc. So this is pretty much another entry in living the law. And I think one of the most fascinating things about when you start reading Neville and practicing the law, there's a there's a spiritual way of doing things in life, and then it seems like there's a worldly way of doing things. And me in particular, I'm not gonna lie, maybe it's just where I'm at on my road when it comes to learning and studying this. But I've won the two almost from a standpoint of I'd be lying if I said I 100% rely on the law. From a standpoint of like no longer going to therapy, no longer reading like books or whatever. Like I don't think I've gotten to the point, I don't think I ever will, where I just 100% lean on it. Maybe that'll change in the future, I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to pretty much share something that kind of popped in my mind after talking to my therapist, and it just kind of hit me. Like I said, again, in regards to like living real life, um, going through some of the motions, and then it just kind of just hits you. So my therapist said something interesting. My therapist said something interesting to me, and he basically said that sometimes in life we want a corrective experience, which basically means that we place ourselves in similar situations that could be helpful or not that helpful, and those corrective experiences are essentially trying to give us back something that we feel we lost. It may even fix something you feel is broken, but all of those things are primary. Well, like what are all of those things in the context of the law? I guess a corrective experience, meaning you're subconsciously repeating patterns, relationships, friendships, types of jobs, just circumstances in general, to for whatever reason, right? In terms of the law, that essentially almost is like it's keeping you locked into a state. You're focused on a certain state, and you never give yourself the opportunity to view the world as who you are now. You continue to see through the lens of the unwanted state. That can be when you were younger, during a heartbreak or just a difficult time. These events can create this desire to balance the scales, and you go on this quest that you believe is going to make all these things right. In my case, I've done a lot of that. I mean, a whole lot of that. I'm grateful because that journey ended up leading me here, but I give myself quest, so to speak. um, but it's basically almost like the last, I'll say roughly like almost 7, 8 years of my life has been almost like this spiritual redemption arc. In my mind, I was doing the right thing because what I was doing, what was I doing other than, what am I basically doing other than constantly placing forgiveness out of reach? So I think I'm doing the right thing, but with me creating this idea that there's always something else I have to do, always this milestone that I have to achieve, always like you never get there. There's always a reason why there's something else to do and you never get there. You never forgive yourself. And as far as the law and Neville is concerned, what forgiveness is basically letting go and forgetting who you used to be and allowing yourself to be something new, which in some weird paradoxical way, it's almost like you never do when you have this type of mindset and go on this type of road. And there's a quote from Neville that says, indifference is the knife that severs, and feeling is the tie that binds. Again, in my mind, I'm putting constant focus on my transgression, perceived flaws, the golden carrot of enlightenment. And one day I'll finally get to the point where I can look in the mirror and be proud. And then somewhere later down the road, I'll finally be happy. I'll finally be successful. I'll finally be confident. It's almost like it's always a thing that's out in the future and it's never now. I believed I was doing a good thing, and obviously, I truly thought that I was striving to become a good person. But in reality, all I was doing was putting attention and feeling towards a state I wanted to leave, keeping it alive with this like magically ordained mission that I had basically I imagined it myself. The quest never ends. Not until you realize that forgiving yourself and letting go of that redemption arc is what lets the state die. Who are you now? Like, forget your story, forget the things that happened to you, because like in our society, that may sound insane, but what is the old story but a chain keeping you basically bound to a state that you strongly dislike? What do you want now? Who do you want to be now? Okay. Well, once you answer that question, look into your imagination. Can you see yourself being different? Can you see yourself as different? Can you imagine yourself further and better than you currently are now? Can you assume that you're different? Because, not trying to be funny, in imagination, all of that is happening now. So once you see yourself being who you want to be in your imagination, you're left with a choice. Do you want to go back to the redemption arc and the old story, or do you want to focus on who you are now? We're given infinite choices. I guess you could say forgiveness itself is infinite because no matter how many times you imagine something crappy or unlovely, you can always go back to the thing that you want. So the reason I titled this The Redemption Arc is to encourage you to do just that. Forgive yourself and let the old you go. Look to who you are now. It's only one assumption away. And when I say the word now, because I know now gets used a lot in manifestation circles and spiritual circles or whatever, right? Now is just one of those things that I used to almost the same thing as like enlightenment. I made it this mythical thing that I had to work and strive and meditate and sit in a corner for hours on end. I had to go to breathwork sessions and all this other crazy shit that I never even really had to do. But the now in your imagination is no different than it's not that complicated. You're hearing my voice right now. And as you are hearing my voice right now, if you were to close your eyes and imagine yourself on a beach right now, well, when is that imaginary scene taking place? When is the sound of the waves crashing taking place? Sure isn't happening tomorrow, and it sure isn't happening 5 minutes ago. So everything that you do in your imagination happens right now. That's why I'm going to botch the actual quote, but basically Neville was trying to say that like the past and the future are really just the same side of the same thing, which is now, because the past and the future are just imaginary concepts happening right now. The past doesn't exist because it's not happening right now. It came and went. The future doesn't exist because it hasn't happened yet. Both of those things inside your imagination are happening right now. So just reiterating everything again. Whatever idea you came up with of what you have to do, and I think it comes from guilt. And that's just kind of using my personal experience. I think when we do things in life that we're not proud of, we don't reach our goals, or we spend a lot of time in states that we hate. It's like we come up with this weird idea that we have to atone for that. And I mean, that's probably just a common thing that comes from religion in modern society, but there is no like atonement. You're not Hercules. You don't have to go and do all these grand gestures and quests to be different. Just be different now and imagine yourself different now and then go from there. Perfect example, I was commenting on something on Reddit yesterday and I was kind of telling them like it's baby steps. So like, let's just say I'll go with drug addiction. Let's just say I've been a drug addict for 5 years and today I decided I don't want to be a drug addict anymore. If I can sit and imagine myself of what it would be like to not be that anymore, then in that moment, my imagination has shown me not only is that real and possible, but I am that. Am I willing to have faith in that? Or the moment I go back into the outside world and my senses show me something in the contrary, do I want to go back to the old state that I know I don't want to be in? Or do I continue to have faith in what I imagine? And then going back to the drug addict thing, the atonement thing, like let's just say I come up with this whole thing of, oh, I need to spend years going to breathwork sessions. I need to spend I don't know, I need to go find every person whoever's feelings I hurt, and I need to go write apology letters to them. I mean, obviously not to say that there aren't things that you shouldn't do, especially if you feel that that's the right thing to do. But I guess basically the message that it's trying to get across is don't feel the need to make forgiveness a golden carrot. Don't feel the need to place conditions on your ability to be a new thing whenever you decide to be it. So if you're on a redemption arc right now, this is officially your signal, whatever word you use, your wake up call, what they be saying, synchronicity. Yeah, that word. Yeah. Whatever, whatever word you use, consider this your official signal to stop that shit. Forgive yourself. Imagine yourself as something new and be that new thing now. And as you continue to be that new thing consistently, every chance you get, even if you fall off on the bike, get back on the ride again, it's going to solidify. It's going to lock itself in. And then one day you're just going to wake up and your life's going to be different. And you're going to be different. And it's going to be as natural as breathing. So hopefully that inspired some new thought. Feel free to comment below and let me know what you think about it. Wild man out.